Hey guys, welcome back. So, I just got home and just saw the news of the PlayStation update saying the games are going to be available for PlayStation Classic. Now, that was big news. Whether it was good news, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about them. But yeah, so they just finally announced their 20 games, and I have them right here. So let's discuss them. Now, I had a whole different list of games that I wanted to do, and they didn't really make the list. So, I'm kind of disappointed. Now, you know, the two big hitters hit it. Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil. Great games. But are they the best? I mean, I guess you don't have to be going for the best, but are they the only ones that deserve to be on there? There's tons of other games that I think needed to be on here other than the ones that were here, but we'll talk about that after. Alright, let's go over the games that they have first. Alright, first off, Battle Arena Toshinden. Sorry if I butchered that. Horrible pronunciation. I have that game for the PS1. I got it when I got my PS1. It wasn't a bad game. I don't have fond memories of playing it too often. I did play it, I did like it, but it wasn't like, oh, I had to keep going back to it. So, is that just me? Does it need to be on here? Yeah. Probably not. There's probably other fighting games you could have put on here. Cool Borders 2. You know what? Fine, you want a sports game. How will it look on HD TVs? I don't know. It depends on the whole system that they use to display these games. Destruction Derby. Fun racing game, kind of arcade style, where, you know, it's not really the most realistic, but it's enjoyable. So that one's okay. I know what they're trying to do. They want a bunch of mix of games, this, that, but what are they trying to do with this system? Is it just, you know, they want to get a quick cash grab, or do they want people to realize there's tons of PlayStation 1 games that are good, and then maybe sell them some more on the PS4? Or sell them version 2. I still wish they'd make these tiny systems with some type of like add-on package where you can plug in something to the memory card slot and it adds 5 more games or something like that. That way you could add more games. Looks like they're all over the place. You know, Final Fantasy VII obviously had to be on there. Grand Theft Auto. I don't know how many people are going to play Grand Theft Auto 1 like that and really want to play it. If I'm going to go back to play Grand Theft Auto 2 is probably the one I'm going to go. Just, you know, they look pretty similar, but it's just, you know, it's a second go around. They did it a lot better that time. Intelligent Cube. Never played it. Couldn't really tell you much about it. It's a puzzle game. Alright, you know, they got that genre out of the way. Next up, Jumpin' Flash. I've always wanted to play this game. So even though this wouldn't have been a game I was thinking about putting on the system, now I have a chance to play it. So I'm glad it's something I have a chance to play. I kind of wish they would go like, they would have went 20 known games that everybody known should play, and then maybe like 5 games that no one really thinks about anymore, and, you know, give us a second try. Next up, Metal Gear Solid. Obviously that needed to be on there. What more can I say? Now, I don't remember if I ever used the analog sticks when I played this game, or if I was using just the D-pad. But to me, I feel like it needs the analog sticks. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel playing with this with the D-pad. We'll come back to that at the end. Alright, next, Mr. Driller. Never heard of it. But it is a 2D game, so it'll probably look good on new televisions and it won't look too outdated. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I never played that game, so I have no real opinion about it, but you know what? I've always heard about it, so that's probably good that it's on this list. Revelations Persona. I didn't even know Persona was on the PS1. I know about Persona 4 and 3. and I just never. I thought it was a PS2 system that it started on. But you know what? That's good for the JRPG fans. So there we go. A little bit of everything. Rayman. You know what? When I saw the trailer for this and they showed Rayman, I had to say Rayman still looked good to look at, even on the PS1. Yeah, it was a little, not retro looking, but a little hard on the eyes. But it still looked like a pretty good game. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Mixed feelings. I'm glad that putting it on here, but I'm just probably going to get the Resident Evil 1 remake for the Switch when it comes out. So, I don't know. I don't think I'd be finding myself playing this too often. Ridge Racer Type 4. Alright. I really like playing the Ridge Racer game that I had. I forget which one I had. It might have been that one. But, you know, it's good that they have a racing game. I feel like I wouldn't want to use a D-pad, though, anymore to play a racing game. I really feel like we need that joystick. Alright, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Another puzzle game. In today's world, do I really need more puzzle games like that to play? If I really want to play something like that, there's probably a clone easily enough on my phone. So, I think they could have left that one off. There's plenty of other games they could easily get onto that 20 if they were having a hard time getting to 20. Maybe save us some games and give us a dual joystick. Alright, so Tekken 3. You know what? That one makes sense on this. This versus the Battle... Battle? Yeah, Battle Arena. I think they should have just went with Tekken 3 and left the other one off. Siphon Filter. I loved Siphon Filter as a kid. That was a good game. I liked it. I liked playing it. Does it hold up today? I guess we'll find out. I think you could have left it off. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I've never been a fan of Tom Clancy games, so this one's kind of maybe a little biased, but probably could have left it off as well. But you know what? You don't know. I guess you never know. Twisted Metal. Obviously, Twisted Metal have to have been on there. Whether the first one was the best choice, I don't know. But at least it's on there. Wild Arms. I always wanted to play this game, so I'm glad that that's on there. But I feel like there's at least 8 of these games they could have cut. So the 8 games that I think probably could have been cut, and then we'll go over what should be in there after. Battle Arena, Grand Theft Auto. Should have just went with the second one. Super Puzzle Fighter 2, Siphon Filter, and probably Tom Clancy's. I don't know if that's 8, but right off the bat, those are the ones I would probably get rid of. That, you know, they're not going to draw. I don't think they're going to draw people to go, hey, I got to get the PlayStation Classic. So yeah. All right. So before we get into the games that I think should have been looked at and put on here, a couple things that I'm hoping that they do with this system. I'm hoping that Sony listened to the people's concerns about the no analog joystick, and that the system doesn't need an update for this, but maybe you could plug in a Bluetooth adapter into the controller spot, kind of like what you can do with the NES Classics, and then connect a PS3 controller or a third-party controller to the system and allow you to use analog sticks. Even if a company has to do a workaround where they put an analog stick on top of the D-pad sensors, not very technical, I know. But even if they have to do a workaround where the system doesn't recognize analog sticks, but they make the D-pad into a stick so that at least you get the flow of a joystick, and the system just reads it as a D-pad, which wouldn't be as nice, but it would still be a better direction, I think. But hopefully it's just, you know, a Bluetooth adapter plugged into the slot will allow you to connect a PS3, PS4 controller, or maybe like 8BitDo can create a controller for it. I think a lot of people would probably prefer that upgrade. That's really the biggest thing, I think. If Sony announces, hey, you can do this, that'd be a big seller. Alright, let's go over the games next. Fighting Spirit. Nope. Resident Evil Biohazard. We got that one. Here's a big one. I love the second one. Only played the first one halfway through, and then, time went by. Parasite Eve. All right. So you're working with Squaresoft. There's a good title. I'm not sure why we don't have that one. Final Fantasy VII. The International. Okay. Mr. Driller. The Goddess Persona. Oh, must be Persona. Metal Gear Solid and Wild Arms. Alright, so there's some big inclusions over there. Parasite Eve, 1. Fighting Spirits, 2. G Gradius, 3. Saga Frontier, 4. XI, 5. Gradius Gaiden, 6. Armor Core, 7. Arc the Rat, 8. And Arc's the Lad? 9 games. So they're getting 9 different games. Unless one of those is the Japanese name is different than the American one, I'm not completely sure. But 9 different games than what we have. So why don't we just make it 29 games for the PlayStation Classic and release them on all areas? I don't get why they're doing that. Let's take a second and look at the Europe just to make sure. Because if you're already talking to the developers about getting the game, why wouldn't you just say, hey, can we release them on all 3 territories? I mean, I guess if some of the games have... No, because Parasite Eve was translated in English. So if you have the game in Japanese and English, just put the English ROM on the American one and the Japanese one on the Japanese one, and give us 29 games. The Europe one's the same thing. Okay, so Europe and America, same consoles. Okay. But you have 9 extra games that you're already talking to. I would imagine they're all probably in English, or at least most of the 9 should already have an English release. If they don't, okay, I can see you not adding it to it. But I know Armor Core does. I know Parasite Eve does. I really liked Armor Core 2 better than Armor Core 1, but, having it is better than not having it. In our case, not having it. If I had to pick between the 2 right now, I think I'd be going with the Japanese one. Unfortunately, though, it wouldn't be in English, so a couple of those games would be really hard to play. Now, if they do come out in Japan and the English translations are there, I'd be even more bizarre. But hey, weird things have happened before. Okay. So the Japanese one looks like a better console for me. That's my opinion. Those are the games I would like to play more. So, if you're not into those games, that's fine. But I would want to get the Japanese one. Too bad, it's probably not going to be in English. Now, the games that I think they could have added, or at least an option of games they could have added. So, I'm looking at the metrics list, the Metacritic list. Sorry, long day. And it has all the games reviewed. So, I'm going to put them in the list of what they gave for the best reviews. Okay? And let's see how many of those let's see the top 10 games, the top 10 best list games. Now, all these reviews are basically when the game came out, maybe a little bit after. It looks like. The first game is from September 20th, 2000. So these are games that were rated when the game came out. Is this by far a perfect representation of how good the game is? No. But the list is pretty good. So number 1, the highest rated PlayStation 1 game apparently, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I really liked Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. It did everything much better than the first one. It played awesome. That would have been a fun game to have on the list. Granted, I have that game like 10 times over, but that would have been a fun game that's easy to pick up and play. There's probably tons of reasons why they couldn't get it. Music, licensing, people's likeness and stuff like that. But it was a good game. It should in some form stripped down or something would have been nice to have it on here. Number 2, Tekken 3. And look at that, we have Tekken 3. They gave it a 96. Gran Turismo. Yes, licensing issue again probably, but that's number 3 game. Final Fantasy 9. Okay, do you need more than one Final Fantasy on here? Maybe one more. But I was an 8 fan, so I can see why it's not on there. They have 7. That's fine. Chrono Cross. Okay. You're already talking with Squaresoft to get RPGs. Don't you think, thinking of RPGs, you'd probably thought of Chrono Cross? Metal Gear Solid. Okay. Gran Turismo 2. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Wipeout. Vagrant Story. Another great game that I love to play, and it's fun. Not on the list. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Final Fantasy 7. Okay. Medal of Honor. I can see why they didn't put that on there. Papa the Rapper. That was a fun, unique game. I'm surprised it's not on there, especially with the puzzle type of game. I know it's not kind of puzzle, but it would have been a fun, 2-player game. Spyro the Year of the Dragon. I'm surprised that's not on there either. They're just re-releasing the game. You think Sony probably would have done some talking to get that on there. That would have been good platformer type game. Tomb Raider. That's the big one. I don't get why that's not on there. It's a great game. Yes, it plays a little weird, but once you get used to the controlling, the game becomes fun. And the way the game's set up, it works with the controlling. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Now, that one's better than the Dreamcast, so when I think of Legacy of Kain, I think of it on the Dreamcast. But Crash Bandicoot. Why that's not on there, not sure. Ape Escape. Siphon Filter. Dance Dance Revolution. Obviously not Dance Dance Revolution. WWF SmackDown 2, obviously. Final Fantasy 8. Wipeout 3. Resident Evil 2. Madden. Tony Hawk 3. Driver. Spider-Man. Need for Speed Underground. Need for Speed High Stakes. Now, I would have preferred Need for Speed on here. Hot Pursuit. I don't know how many times I can remember just as a kid hearing, white 911 over the police radar, speeding, come pick me up. That was a good game. Metal Slug X. Fair Effect. Dead or Alive. Breath of Fire 4. Parasite Eve. Alright, so we won't go any further than that. So those are at least 20 of their top highest rated games. And the list goes on and on and on before it starts getting to where mediocre scores. But if you picked your 20 from those lists, you'd have some great games. I'm not saying the games they don't have aren't great, but a lot of those games I wouldn't pick up the box and be like, ooh, that looks interesting, I should pick up this for $100. The Japanese one more so, but not the American one. For a couple of the games on there, I definitely want to play that on my own, and it's almost cheaper to buy it in. It is cheaper to buy it in the classics and play it that way versus buying it on the disc for a couple of those games. So it's worth it. So all in all, in my opinion, I'm a little disappointed with the lineup for America. Hopefully the system can be cracked and I can take some of my favorite games that I own and put them on there. Hopefully Sony or someone can release a Bluetooth adapter that plugs right into the controller switch and port and make it so I can use dual stick analog and be able to play the games at least with analog, because I really don't want to play Metal Gear Solid without analog. Alright guys, so before I end it, let me go with the 5 games that I really wish was on this list, and then leave in the comment what game you wish was on here. So, according to this, the ones that really remind me, I really wish Vagrant Story was on here. Great fun game, set in medieval, I like that. Not a unique, but at the time when I played it was a unique way to do the battle system. And I just really like that. It was a fun game. Parasite Eve. Another game, I played that one before I played Resident Evil, so that was kind of like my horror game. And when I played Parasite Eve 2 and that opening sequence, if you guys have never seen it, check out a trailer for the opening of the game. Back then, that looked so realistic and so gross that forget how old I was, but a little boy in me was like, oh man, this is crazy. Back then, when you could buy rated M games at like 12 years old and just walk in and they would not say a thing to you. Racing game, I wish they would have went for Need for Speed for Hot Pursuit 3. Ooh, the last two. Tomb Raider, obviously, 4. And Chrono Cross. I wish they would have went that one. I think those pictures would have made the box stand out more. So those are the 5 that really stick out to me. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for, just staying in there. Leave in the comments what games that you wish was on the list. And don't forget to hit that bell, share, like, watch my other videos. Alright guys, have a good night, keep on gaming, and later.